In the story, there exists an official organization in Japan known as Liao. During times of peace, their duty appears harmless. They help ordinary people deal with ghosts, capture demons, and raise Buddhist statues, much like Taoist priests or Buddhist monks in China. But when war comes, Liao reveals its darker side. Their mission shifts to espionage, sabotage, and the use of secret mystical techniques. They attempt to sever the dragon veins and chi clouds, the lifeblood of a nation's fortune, of enemy countries. Their ultimate goal is to weaken rivals and ensure that Japan dominates them forever. Some might wonder, if Japan invaded China, why didn't the great protectors, the emperors, or even Tathagata Buddha intervene? The truth is more complex. These spiritual battles did take place, but few people today know of them. The struggle between Chinese masters and Japanese onmyoji was fierce and hidden behind the scenes of history. You can understand the numerous wars between Chinese and Japanese masters. In the 1930s, there were 6 very famous horse riding stalls in the 3 provinces of northeast China. Each family has a history of more than 5 generations. In the stall, there are the Chu family of Bingxiang Horse Farm, the Chu family of Erdeo White River, the Lao Tian family of Dunhua, Kingguzi, the Lao Kong family of Jiao Falishan, the Lao Ma family of Jianzhou Shan, the Lao Gong family of Liaoning Bunshi, and the Lao Chiu family of Mudanjiang Dajiapi Go. Among them, the Lao Gong family of Bunshi is the leader. The reason is that the stall of the Lao Gong family of Bunshi is a very rare Chong family stall. As you all know, the Chong family is hot-tempered, brave, and good at war. From 1931 to 1940, more than 2,000 Japanese monks and nuns entered our country. In name, it is looking for a good time, but in fact it is to cut off the luck. Of course, the battle between Liao and the 6 stalls in the northeast was defeated by Liao, but the 6 stalls were not invincible. Some stalls were completely cut off. Some stalls were hit to the Baoji Axion. You can find out the details of this battle on your own. But the movie I'm going to talk about today is related to Liao. Liao was filmed on the Korean peninsula. In fact, the Korean government has removed 52 stalls in the country. This has been reported in the news. So it doesn't matter if we talk about it. But the Korean people's understanding of the folk culture is still unknown. There is no orthodox inheritance. So when Uncle Nyo is talking about movies, he will add more to some plot holes. But I can't say too much. I know everything. Okay, don't talk too much. Let's talk about it. A man and a woman appear in the picture. It's a very famous Korean Samonese priest, Hwa Lin, and his assistant Fungji. This time they were invited by a Korean-American rich man to perform a ritual for his newborn son. The reason is that the rich man's son has been crying since he was born. He's about to cry his lungs out, crying all the time. All the medical methods used in the hospital can't find the cause. It can't be treated. You can only use a sedative to keep the child quiet. So the rich man thought about whether it could be an epidemic, because some ethnic traditions are believed in our East Asian region. I'm sure all the middle-aged people who have raised children have had this experience. Hwa Lin came to the hospital and whistled. He wanted to communicate with the evil spirit in the child body, but the child didn't react. So it's a big deal. Sure enough, after inviting all the children's parents out of the ward, the assistant Fungji put an amulet in front of the child's chest and recited a spell. Then Hwa Lin pulled out the child's eyelids. After confirming the problem with the pupils, Hwa Lin can be sure that this is a problem with his family. Hwa Lin called all the family members of the child. He said, "Your family members are not very healthy." Hearing this, the family members' faces were shocked. Then he took Hwa Lin and the assistant to the rich man. The rich man's name is Piao Ge. He is a very successful businessman. After he confirmed that his family did have hereditary diseases, his brother committed suicide in a mental hospital, and his father is often mentally disturbed. Now even his child is involved. Next, Hwa Lin's words completely subverted Piao Ge's cognition. Although most people may not believe it, But these symptoms are not the cause of hereditary diseases. It's a problem with the old grave in the old Piao family. That is to say, the ancestors of the old Piao family were uncomfortable in the grave, even suffered. This is how anger was released on the descendants. Of course, under normal circumstances, the ancestors will first take off their dreams to see the scene. Let the family move the tomb to another place. But once the family doesn't think it's a matter of superstition, then the ancestors will have to use means. Qingzi makes you uncomfortable, sick, and broke. Zhongzi's mental disorder suddenly exploded. This situation is called mu phone. After knowing the cause, Piao Gulanmeng asked for a solution. Some of us are not afraid to spend money. But Hualin didn't say it was not a matter of money. But the Lees have a special job. Of course, you have to ask the feng shui master for the matter of the ancestral grave. Now the situation of mu feng. Only by moving the ancestral grave to another feng shui treasure land to make the ancestors live comfortably. All the problems have been solved. Speaking of the most famous feng shui master in South Korea, Deng Shu Lao Chui and his assistant Aji. Before we talk about the plot of moving the grave, let's briefly introduce the Northeast. Solve similar problems here. The Northeast exit gate can officially exit the hall. It means that the troops are complete. The people behind these disciples should be able to solve all the problems. There must be a solution to the problem above. There must also be a solution to the problem below. Like in this movie, disciples can only see evil. There is no situation that can't be solved by mu phone. If you can't, solve the following things. What do you set up a hall? Choosing the king of the grave is the first big thing to set up a hall. Without the king of the grave, you can freely enter and exit the underworld. Don't you just pull the eggs? Uncle Neo said this is a folk story. Don't take it seriously. Back to the story. Feng Shui Master Lao Kui. The first position in the reputation of the industry in South Korea. A long soil. As long as you grab the soil on the ground. The factory is so long. You know this place is dangerous. Of course, the Northeastern Ma family's methods are different. You need to communicate with the owner of the mountain behind you. Why is it uncomfortable to live in? Where will it be comfortable for you to move to? It's up to the owner. Hualin contacted Lao Chui immediately after returning to China. After learning about the consequences of the incident, Lao Chui felt that this matter would not be simple. Otherwise, the family would not be able to pay 500 million yuan. 500 million yuan for each person is equivalent to 2.5 million yuan for each person. The situation must be quite hot. He didn't dare to vote that I can only take one step at a time. At the same time, Piao Gu in the United States was very worried. His wife and mother were persuading him not to be fooled. These things are all pure superstition. Pura deception. How could you be a fan of someone else's words? But there are some things that only you know. He can often hear a strange cry now. I can't help but believe it. So after a lot of entanglement, return to South Korea quickly to host this event in person. After meeting Lao Chui, Piao Gu proposed 2 conditions. First, this matter must be kept secret. Can't make a movie. Second, after digging out the coffin, don't turn it on. It must be cremated as soon as possible. Although Lao Chui wanted to make this money, but he only agreed to look at the situation. Ordinary people don't understand the danger in it. He dare not vote. Let's make it short. After walking a long mountain road, everyone came to a high mountain. Of course, it is also a relatively high mountain. There is no such thing as a high mountain in South Korea. Lao Chui walked all the way. The more he walked, the more nervous he was. He can't imagine. Why would someone set up a grave on the mountain? This is a taboo in feng shui. Unless it's an enemy. I want this family's children and grandchildren to be restless. Otherwise, I would never choose the grave here. But this grave was obviously set up by his own family. There is a strange thing in this matter. Lao Chui was at a loss. In order to verify his own idea, he grabbed a handful of soil from the ground and stuffed it into his mouth. This is the worst soil he has ever tasted. There's a breath of fresh air in the soil. Lao Chui stood on the grave and looked around. He found that the surrounding air was full of qi and qi. It seems that this is a hideous place. Lao Shui asked Piao Gu in a hurry. Who is buried in the tomb? Did your family hide anything from us? But Piao Gu said that his grandfather was buried in the tomb. He didn't understand the rest. After all, he was only 7 years old when his grandfather died. After hearing this, Lao Shui turned around and left. This 500 million yuan is not worth it. After returning to the car, Hualin and others asked, why don't you take this deal? It's not easy to meet a rich man. How can you push it? Lao quizmed coldly. Money is not so easy to earn. This grave is the most evil tomb he has ever seen in his career. It's full of ghosts. Once you break the tomb, you can't say what's going to happen. Even his master may not be able to handle it. His master is not that big of a crybaby. You have to be hard to die. Lao Shui advised these young people. It's better not to take risks. Otherwise, it's too late to regret it. No matter what, Lao Shui is an experienced senior. Even he started to hit. Hualin and others also refused. The emotional card that was written by Piao Gu. He took a picture of his newborn child and found Lao Shui begging. This is his 3rd child. The first 2 were all miscarriages. It's hard to keep the 3rd one. Very scientific. At the same time, Hualin and assistant Fengji also began to dance. Please God. Ding ding dang dang dang. Jump up, jump up. I didn't wear shoes. I helped ding ding. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. 3 turns. 9 turns. About the difference between the big stone and the horse. Everyone knows. The big stone is originated from the Samanaba. Communicate with nature. Invite all kinds of wild immortals. See the disease. Fight, etc. Wild immortals are different. Different functions. And the horse is not so troublesome. Invite your own people to fight. A simple idea came. Hualin jumped, cut on the dead pig, and the workers also quickly dug the grave. About a week later, as the coffin was dug out of the mud, this killing ceremony was also completed successfully. Everyone around did not get hurt. Lao Chui's assistant Aji sprinkled sea salt on the workers. Exhaust all the bad breath. Lao Chui was also relieved. Originally doing this, Lao Chui should open the coffin, pick up the bones in it, then hide it in the new coffin. But this house has a strange requirement, is that you must not open the coffin. Instead, quickly pull to the crematorium to cremate. It seems to hide some invisible secret. But after all, the family gave 500 million yuan in salary. Lao Chui, they don't care so much. He asked the assistant, Aji, to pull the coffin to cremate. He stayed to watch the workers put the grave flat. But when the workers were working, a strange snake came out of the ground. The workers didn't think about it. A shovel went down. After the strange snake died, suddenly the wind was strong. But there was nothing. What he didn't know, there was a shadow on the window glass. There was a shadow on the window glass. After eating and drinking, a voice rang. There is milk and bread here. There is a beautiful woman. My son, how can you be so cruel? Let me suffer there. Sorry, father. I'm wrong. Forgive me. It's a pity that everything is too late. The mysterious shadow on the old man's heart. He was crushed. He was crushed. At this time, Hualin and others have already sensed that things are not going well. He asked Lao Chui to contact Piao Gu quickly. He and his assistant started the summoning ritual. He and his assistant. Let me give you a brief insight. In general, evil spirits, monsters, etc. in general, don't have a particularly high spirit quality. Performance on IQ. It's not too late to do it now, or it's going to be a big deal. But I heard Brother Piao say an inexplicable word. The fox broke the tiger's waist and then twisted his neck 360 degrees and vomited blood to death. Everyone was shocked by the scene in front of them. Fortunately, Lao Chui is an old Jianghu. What kind of scene has not seen? Hurry to let the steward call the United States to see who is left in the old Piao Street. He must be allowed by his family to perform a body fire. If it is too late, it's too late. At this time, the evil spirit of the Piao family has moved to the child's ward. A pair of evil big black hands have pinched the child's neck. I didn't ask too much, and I agreed. It turned out that Aunt Piao was also an old superstar. I believed in this thing when I was a kid. This saved the life of the Piao family. It was a minute late. In fact, the fire was heated to a high temperature, the heat of the Piao family also disappeared in a moment of loss of flesh. Uncle Neo also looked down and took half of the progress bar and said that this film, I have been drunk, there's too much to say about the content of our first half of the content can be summarized as a jar of kimchi can solve the matter you get out of two lives. In fact, it is also the case that you find the people who look at the matter cannot absolutely bring you to the bad way. To spend some wrong money is a small matter people give you to see what to see the wind, to see the death, is not in the minority all. Right? The story in the second half is still wonderful. The legendary prison officer is willing to rush into the world